Well, hello everybody. It's Anne here, the Stamp Maven, and I've got some really fun cards to show you tonight. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our Memories and More card packs. If you're not familiar with these, boy, what a treasure these little pack of cards are. The one I'm using tonight is the Tropical Oasis, but all of our card packs come with double-sided 3x4 cards, and these are cardstock quality. They're really not flimsy. And then we've got also 4x6 cards here. That was actually a sticker. These actually, I've got a couple of packs combined here, but you get several sheets of the stickers too. I was so excited when this Memories and More kit came out in our January to June mini catalog because, as some of you know, Dave and I earned the incentive trip, which is to Maui, Hawaii this year. We're supposed to go in July. You know, that'll all remain to be seen because of what's happening in the world these days, but we're praying we still get to go. And I'm going to show you at the end here a little scrapbook I made for that. But tonight I wanted to focus in on some easy peasy cards. So the first one is this one right here. Now, this particular pack of cards has so many colors in it. You can use all different kinds of solid cardstock with these. Now, what I chose is the Pretty Peacock. So that is going to be my card base. And then this particular 4x6 card, I've already used the other one for something else, but I just grabbed this one out of the pack. Now, what's really cool about these card kits is that you don't have to cut very much off them to make them work for cards. This suite of products does have designer series paper, and actually that's what I was going to use tonight for the layer, but I realized I'd loaned it to a good friend of mine who's making some cards for the both of us. But these larger cards work just beautifully. So here's the deal. They're 4x6. So this one that I'm going to use in my card, I just chopped it down to 4x5 1/4. And the reason I'm using that is because I want to have a border of the Pretty Peacock showing through. So that meant that I really had to just chop off 1/4 inch. So let me just show you now. I'm going to get out my silicone mat here, my silicone mat, and I'm going to put some adhesive on it. Then I'm going to just pop that down. And one little hint, if you just hold your finger on like one of the corners and then put the other one down and then press in, you'll get an even card. Okay, so then the next thing is these little cards are 3x4. So using the same premise, your layering piece needs to be 1/4 inch bigger. So that will be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. All right, let's just get a little adhesive on that. And you really can just put your adhesive on the corner and then maybe just a little piece down the middle. All right, so same thing. I'm going to hold down this diagonal corner, put the other one there, and then it's nice and neat. So then what I would do is I'm just going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I like to put one in each corner and then put one in the middle here. So let's just take off these quickly. Oops, there's one there and one more. Okay, so now we're just going to pop that on here, and you've got just a perfect card. Now, later, I'm going to just put a white insert in here, and I might stamp on it, or I might also just use one of these stickers to put in there as well, one of the leaves or one of the hearts. Okay, so that is our first card. Now, on the second card here, I want to show you something that is just so fun. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this totally, but this is one of the Memories and More cards, but I ran it through this Coastal Wave embossing folder. So it gave a little bit of texture on this, and it just made it come out so cool. Okay, so now we're going to take this card base, give it a good crease with the bone folder, and then I'm going to, I've already cut down this card so I know it'll fit right on here. And remember, if you don't get a chance to watch this whole Facebook Live, the recording will be on later, as well as I'm going to list the products that I used for this. Okay, then here's my 3x4 card. It says, Love Your Smile. And then for this layer, I cut the same 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 So Saffron. That's one of the colors that's used in this pack and the designer series paper also. It has so many cool colors. All right. Then again, I'm going to take my dimensionals because I want to pop this layer up. And I hope you're seeing how easy this is. One thing you can do, since all of these cards in the pack that I'm using for layers are the exact same size, 3x4, you could pull out the cards that you know you're going to use, and then you can just cut all your layers to go behind ahead of time and cut your card bases, and then it will be just easy peasy when you go to put these together. All right, so then we've got this card. Okay, now when you cut off the ends of this 4x6 piece like this, you want to keep them because you're going to be able to use them and nothing's going to go to waste. Like in this flamingo card here. See this little strip right here? That actually, when I made this first card, this is the half-inch strip. Actually, I think it's 3/4 inch strip that was left over. Well, we don't want to have anything go to waste. So then what I did, this is a card right here in the series. Now for this one, I used the subtle embossing folder. I don't know if you can see it maybe better on the back here. It's just got, and that's why it's named subtle, it's just got this real soft texture that it makes, and I really just loved it for this. Okay, now I'm going to layer this again, our 3x4 card, and this is Flirty Flamingo cardstock, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I had taken this mint macaron cardstock. So on the, let's see, this card right here, I had this little edge left over. Now notice it's got some of the same colors that would go with this flamingo. So what I did was I had a piece of this pretty peacock left over from when I cut a scrap to layer on that one. So what I'm going to do here is I am just going to take that little piece and I'm going to butt it right up on here. Let me get where you can see that better. And it really doesn't matter how long your strip is or the side of it. I am going to bring in my trimmer just to cut this off because I want it to be even at the bottom. And then I want a little bit more to come off of this edge. All right, there we go. Okay, well, I didn't do a very good job trimming that, but hey, I think we can get in here and fix that up. Yep, there we go. All right, so now I've got my little strip here. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it behind this flamingo, and you could even turn it another way if you wanted to do that, which I think I'm going to do because I want a little bit more of the flirty flamingo to show here. Okay, so then let me turn it around the right way though, so that flirty flamingo will show on top. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer it right on here. So can you see all of these colors? Mint macaron, flirty flamingo, pretty peacock. They all fit perfectly right on here. Now, if you didn't want to use a dimensional, let's say you were going to mail this and you didn't want to have that bulk, okay, you could put it on here right like this. And I'm going to show you at the very end here a way that we can step up each one of these cards with just one embellishment to just make it a wowie zowie card. Okay, here's another one. This was just a 4x6 card. It says the best is yet to come. Okay, that could be for anything. It could be for a friend who's retiring. It could be for a tropical wedding. I mean, it could be for graduation. There's so many different things. So what I did is, and you can't see it that well, but I did run this through this Subtles embossing folder that just gives these real subtle lines. I don't know if you can hear it as I scrape my finger across there. And then I'm using just basic black cardstock that, again, I cut into the card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, then I'm just going to mount this. Voila, that's done. I mean, these are so easy. Okay, now here's the last, well, the next to the last card I want to show you. And I'm going to show you how I did it. I had already used this 4x6 card for something else, so we're just going to have to pretend. But what I did, see how it's really dark kind of around here? I sponged that. It was a lot lighter, just white, as well as the center here. So I took my sponge and I got some Flirty Flamingo ink, and then I just started going around here on all of the edges. Now, I did it before I layered, but for the sake of what I'm showing you here, I'm just kind of showing you that I went all the way around. And then I took it and I just lightly went in the center here. And the reason I did that is I wanted to take off some of the stark looking white there. So then what I did was I layered it on the Flirty Flamingo and then on top of the petal pink. So what I want to show you is, since I didn't have this card available anymore because I'd already used it, look here. It's just, these cards are so awesome. I still used a piece of the petal pink, but then I cut down a piece of the Flirty Flamingo to 4 by 5 1/4. I hope you're noticing a theme here in these measurements. When you do these Memories and More cards, you know, they are just so easy because you really just put on one layer and, you know, you don't even have to put one layer. You can just, like I did on this one, just put the card right on the black. So I ran this through that Coastal Weave embossing folder, and then I'm going to just put my adhesive on the back, and then we're going to mount that on the petal pink. And again, I'm going to hold down this left corner and then the right one, and then I'm going to smooth it out and it's totally even. So I got this card with the pineapple, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. And then look what I did. I took my stickers, which are right here. I just popped off this one that has the hibiscus and that leaf. I took this thanks greeting and I turned it into a card. Very different than this one, but easy peasy, and there was no stamping on this one. Okay, now, are you ready for something uber cool? I just had to show you this because when I was messing around, I kind of figured what to do with my scraps. Remember how I told you, save your scraps, don't throw them away. Well, this is just a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 white cardstock. So what I did was, let me take it off. I just took the various strips that I had of my leftover 4 by 6 cards that I'd cut, and then I took some scraps of the cardstock that I had used to make the layer, and I just glued them down. So now what I'm going to do is, and we'll call this a scrap card, I'm just going to put this in my trimmer, and I'm going to trim off those edges that are sticking out here. All right, and then I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to cut those off. And you know what? You could save these and probably use them for something else. Now look, so I've got this cool little design left on a card. Well, if I slap that on a piece of cardstock, that probably wouldn't look too attractive. Well, looky here. Here's another 3 by 4 card from the kit, and there's 2 of them. So I just took it, let's show it this way. I took it and I just cut around it. Then I got this Thinking of You Today and Always sticker and a little teeny heart. And what I'm going to do is just take these dimensionals and I'm going to pop this up. Of course, if you wanted to stamp a greeting on there, you could. But I'm trying to just keep this so easy with very few products that you would need. Now, this suite has a ton of really cool products in it. Sadly, right now, because of the shipping delays going on in the world with the coronavirus, the bundles and the suites aren't available, but a lot of the individual products are. So now what I would do is I would just take this, I'd layer it onto a card base, easy peasy, I'd have a great card. Now, here are some other cards in the pack that you could do the same thing with. This is the same one I used. This one, you could actually chop it off right here with your trimmer, and then you'd have this little piece cut around this little label. You could do the same thing here. Cut around this little label and use these other pieces, because you get two of these cards. So if you wanted to use this beautiful hibiscus, you would still have that because there's two of them. Now, okay, here is the fun part that I was going to show you at the end. Okay, as part of this suite, we have these fabulous tropical Oasis trinkets. There is a guitar. There is a leaf that looks suspiciously like the leaves here. There is a pineapple. And there is a hibiscus. Now, watch how cool this is. I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue. You could also use glue dots, but I am going to just take this little embellishment here, the trinket, and I'm going to just stick it right on this card. Now, the glue dries clear, so you're not going to see it. Doesn't that step up the card? Okay, we're going to keep doing this with some of the other ones. So this little hibiscus, whoops, come back here. Let me see, which end do I want? Well, it kind of looks the same, so I'll use that one. And you can put these, no matter where you want it, whoops, on your card. Okay. Come back, and it takes a minute for these to dry, but I think it'll cooperate. So there's the hibiscus. Now, the flamingo, you could use any one of these because it's just tropical. I would probably use another leaf here if I wanted to put one on this card, because the leaf is there and you could just stick it right on there. Now, on this one, Love Your Smile, guess which one I'm going to use? Yep, I'm going to take this pineapple. Now, you could put ribbon or any number of things on this card to go with it, but why? These little embellishments are just so dang cute. Why would you need to put anything else on them? So there's that one as well. Now, I've got these two left that you could easily, let me grab another pineapple. You could take another pineapple and put it on here, however you wanted to do it, maybe up there. Now, you could also take a hibiscus, because there's a hibiscus in there, right there. And lo and behold, you could also take a leaf. Well, they're sticking because I've got glue on my hand. But you could take another leaf and put it on there. On this one, same thing. You could use leaf, hibiscus. My gosh, guys, this is just the coolest thing. So I'm going to put this on the Facebook as a post when I'm done. These little trinkets are only $7.50 and you get 24 of them. The cards themselves are $11. You get 50 cards with stickers. The Coastal Weave embossing folder is $9. The subtle embossing folder is only $10. So to get all of this stuff, to make all of these cards, all you'd have to do is add some cardstock, and you could get an assorted pack of cardstock, or I'm sure a lot of you have a supply already. You could even use Whisper White or Very Vanilla if you wanted to. I mean, I just am in love with all of this stuff. Now, let me show you one more thing. This is, I actually did a mini album with these cards too. Like I told you, I bought a couple. But again, this has got the Coastal Weave. I just kind of want to flip through this quickly to show you. This is just cards, some regular cardstock, and I'm going to put photos on here. You can journal on here as well. These pages come in our catalog as well. Here's some extra paper here, and this is lovely lipstick that I used for this. I used some of the braided burlap ribbon, but again, you wouldn't have to. You could just put them in here plain. But oh, these colors are so rich. And even if you don't have a trip to Hawaii planned, who doesn't love a beachy theme and all these fun things? Here I use some die cuts and punches to create some embellishments. But most of it, again, is just regular paper. Some vellum in the back here. Isn't that cool? Well, I hope that I've shown you that, especially when you're stuck at home, you may have a Memories and More kit already. It may be a different one than I had, but feel free to just watch this video over again. I'm going to post it here in a minute when I'm done. Thanks, Carol. I hope everybody thinks they're cute. They were just so fun to make, and these little embellishments are just a hoot. I love them. But I hope you'll, pull out a kit that you have. If you haven't ordered this Tropical Oasis stuff, you can go to my website, which is annbrown.stampinup.net. And again, I'm going to post the numbers for all of these. But, whether you order or not, hopefully I've given you some ideas where you can take a card pack and just come up with quick and easy ideas. During this time when we're all housebound, sometimes you want to just get away from the office if you're working at home. Maybe give your kids a break while they're working on their schoolwork. So you can just pull out your stuff and make, a ton of cards in a very short time. It hasn't even been a half an hour, and we've made 5 or 6 cards, and you also heard me yakking the whole time. So I've had fun getting with you for a little bit tonight, and I hope you'll come back again soon. I've got some other Facebook Lives and regular online classes planned to hopefully get us through all of this staying at home. We'll have a stampcation, and feel free to share this video with your friends. If you have any questions, post them in the comments, and I'll get back to you. See you later.